very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called the smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. I mean, virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You know, you talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop, it's nothing. But for California, it would take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him when he was governor. We worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem because you're talking about big, big dollars.
Let me say this, you dumbass, and I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back to this basic third grade civics. Why the fuck would you need to send water back to the Pacific? The Earth, and you can check this out. You don't believe me? 80% of this planet, 80% of this planet is covered by water. 80%. Only 20% of the planet is land. Only 20%. Why the fuck do you need to send water back to the Pacific? The Pacific is one of the Pacific, the Atlantic. Those are two. Those are on the east side of the United States. Are two of the largest oceans, water masses in the world. But you have to send water back to protect a smelt, a tiny fish, which is a lie you're telling, because the actions that are taken to protect the smelt, it doesn't come from California. It comes from the federal government. If any animal, smelt, the bald eagle, anything, any animal or any species that is on the endangered species list, it comes from the federal government. And Donald Trump, you know this. At some point, dude, you got to stop lying to people. Just tell the fucking truth. You're telling people that ain't no motherfucking water in the fire hydrants because they pumping it back to the Pacific Ocean. Why the fuck? The Pacific Ocean's not running dry. 80% of the fucking earth is water. Dude.
Now, like, people don't live in these type of states like LA and whatever we have wildfires at. It's hard to understand why it's fires out there from the beginning. So you're probably sitting there thinking, what the fuck is that be about anyway? Like, for the normal motherfucker, that just seems odd. But there's a million reasons why a fire start somewhere out there and continue, right? So for everybody out, just like me, because when I start doing this politics, I don't know everything. I don't know shit. Trust me, I don't know a motherfucker thing. I'm learning as we go too, right? But for the normal motherfucker, just fires just starting somewhere seems odd to them, right? So wildfires itself are more either human or natural. Either it's going to be a fucking lightning or some shit, or they gonna set the shit on
Wildfires
fire.
burn up to 5 million acres of land in the United States each year. While they can start naturally, wildfires are often caused by humans with devastating consequences.
I mean, it could be plenty of things. Somebody could be smoking in the woods. Well, California, out that area is dry.
Wildfires are large, uncontrolled infernos that burn and quickly spread through wild landscapes. Types of wildfires may include forest, brush, and peatland fires, depending on the landscapes affected. Wildfires require 3 components known as the fire triangle: a heat source, fuel, and oxygen. Heat sources such as the sun, a hot bolt of lightning, or a smoldering match can supply enough heat to spark a fire. That spark then turns into flames when fuel or any flammable material is present. Dry, dead grasses, leaves, and trees are common fuels for wildfires, but so are living vegetation called green fuels. Pine trees and other evergreens contain flammable oils that can burn when exposed to a heat source. As the fuel burns, the resulting flames feed and thrive off of oxygen. When air movement or wind occurs, not only is more oxygen supplied to the fire, but it may also help transport and spread the flames. Since wildfires occur outdoors, they have a nearly endless supply of oxygen from our atmosphere to burn.
That's one of the reasons. If you know,
So
go ahead.
for like a motherfucker just trying to figure it out, right? It's a lot of trees out there. That alone is enough to just keep fires going, right? So when the wind blows, it gives it more oomph to the fire. For example, if you set some on fire, and then when you do it like this, or you blow it, and it gets more and more. It's the same shit. Like you try and blow it and give it more oxygen. So if it's outside, it's gonna get plenty of wind and plenty of oxygen. Now, if trees lined up beside each other, it's easy for this tree to get caught to this tree, to that tree, and continue. Quick, fast, if the wind blowing it fast. It can spread fast. And that's what happened there.
Yeah, and people gotta understand this. When they tell you, if you hear that it never rains in Southern California, that is the truth. And that is the problem. That was one of the reasons I would never live in that area. Not only the earthquakes, the mudslides, and shit like that. It's dry and it's hot year round. So if the trees not getting no water, the grass is not getting no water, the ground is not getting no water, it's just dry. So, and it rains every so often. Just like Seattle is on the West Coast. But you never hear about this shit in Seattle because up in that part of the Pacific, on the Pacific coast, it rains all the time. If it did that in this area, Los Angeles and shit like that, you would never get no wildfires and shit. But it's so dry and it hardly, like, they go months without rain. They might go a whole summer and then the whole year is like what? It don't drop like 70 degrees and 70, 75, 80s all year long.
That's the thing about having a dumbass president, though.
Yeah. So when shit catch on fire, that shit going up.
We don't understand that where that area is a shortage on water anyway, right? Because of where they are. But that in his mind frame doesn't connect. It's just, they ain't had no water there. That's all he kept saying. He's an idiot, bro. He about as dumb as they get. And he the fucking president.
We live on the East Coast. And we know how, especially during summertime, when it don't be no rain and it's a drought out here, we miserable as hell. And you can see everybody lawn turning brown because they grass burning up, and nobody want to water it, can't water it all the time because they're running your water bill up. So you just think they deal with that all year long. When we out here, right now, we in big coats, jeans, long johns, we doubled up wearing boots and shit. They ain't wearing that shit in California. It's still warm out there. Go.
What I'm saying is,
Got a dumbass in the White House.
the fact that I don't expect nobody to know every fucking thing, but you're a president. You have access to so much information. If you so dumb to shit, find out first. He just jumps out there. They ain't had no water. He just kept on saying that shit. So now you go on the motherfucking YouTubes. This is how they do it. So that's their thing. Oh, California governor is a piece of shit. He didn't even get no water. He don't even have no water. The hydrant's out. So that's gonna be talking points. And they're gonna have his face on all their little podcasts.
Yep.
So, and it's all misleading. And to me, this is where a Democrat, whoever running for the DNC, these are the type of things they have to be on top of ASAP. Now, get on it immediately. Matter of fact, start doing live streams. All y'all motherfuckers got YouTubes. All y'all congressmen, senators, all y'all got YouTubes. Live stream that shit. Slowly explain it to people. So when he start running around saying dumbass shit, they can be like, hold on, man. They just walk me through that shit on one of those live streams. They don't have to even know it's you as a congressman or whatever the fuck. Just sit there and walk through shit easily. How the funds are being allocated, you got to let people know. You got to let them know exactly what you're doing, what time you're doing it, who's on what, who getting what done. Everybody got to be doing that now, and don't let that orange fuck be the only one talking. If you do that, everything's gonna be lies, misleading shit. And that's up to y'all to stop it. Just like now, whoever the governor is, whoever the congressperson is, your mic is just as loud as his at this point, because that's where it's going on at. And whatever he say, combat it ASAP and start putting more information out ASAP. Say, all right, I got such and such as many police officers there. I got such and such how many five people here. I got this going on here. Explain the shit. Walk it through. Say, hey, the water didn't come through because XYZZ. Now we on it now. You got to do it, because if you let him do that type shit, you're going to be fucked.
Well, see, this is the problem I got with that. Now, I understand what you're saying. I see where you're coming from, but this is the problem I got with that. It's one thing if you're dealing with brush fires and out in because there's a lot of area out there in California that you get brush fires. You know, it ain't moving where people live. Now this shit has moved where people live. People are losing their homes. You got people that are reporting on the fire and then going home and their house is burnt down. You got it was one of the basketball players that played for for one of the LA teams who had to leave and go home and evacuate his family last night because the fire was approaching. It is not approaching, it's in residential areas now. You can get on any social media right now, and it's not just Democrats or whatever. It's all types of people of all persuasions out here who have lost everything. All their shit is burnt to the ground. They lost their home, their cars, people have died and everything. And for a motherfucker to have to get out here and combat misinformation when people are losing their homes, losing their lives, and the fucking city is basically burning down because it's moving further and further and further into residential areas. And you got to get out here and might have to get out here and combat misinformation from an orange jackass. That's a fucking shame. And no shit. Look, dude, you're not in office yet. Shut the fuck up. Let the president who's in there for what? 10 more days. Let him do his thing. If you think you can do better when you get in there, do better or don't do nothing at all. But you are not the president yet. And yet you're making it harder for these people out here to get help. These people need help. There's people out there don't have no home tonight, don't have no nothing. And let me tell you something, you dumb fuck. You got all these motherfucking hotels that got your name on it and all this shit. And these motherfucking rich white people that you like so much that are losing their homes. I ain't hearing you say, well, you know what? Let some of them, let some of these families, stay in my hotel or something until they get on their feet and then help them out until FEMA can get them going. You're not even doing nothing like that. You want to attack the governor and the fucking mayor when people are out here dying. And then people got to combat misinformation. People that got to combat misinformation. And the LA Times, I ain't leaving y'all motherfuckers out either, because you are a newspaper and it's a news organization. And as a news organization, it is your job to get the news to the people. And if people go to the LA Times to find out where to go, where to get help, where to fire at, and y'all gonna mean to tell me that y'all gonna keep that information behind a paywall, that if people need to get that information from the LA Times, they gotta buy a fucking subscription, and people had to raise hell to make y'all drop the paywall? That's some bullshit. Come on, man.
Told you, they all try to make money off of tragedies.